Welcome back to another episode of the Off ADHD podcast. I think this is episode 6. It's 5 or 6 today. We have our guest, Dresden.
AMC is going up right now.
AMC's going up?
Yeah.
Shoot, we should have invested.
I already did.
You bought in?
Yeah.
Dang.
I was there since $8.
You're the $8. What's it at now? Like 30?
It's like 50 something.
Dang. Dresden turning profits right now.
100%. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get my foot stuck in this.
Hold on, let me check. It's at $58.
58.
21 cents.
So it's up $50. How many shares you buy?
That's a great question. Hold on. Give me a second.
We'll get into stocks in this episode because me and Dresden are both very interested in stocks.
I have 5 right now.
You have
Which is
5
dumb.
trades?
Yeah. At
Nice.
the time when I bought in, I had other stocks, and then I sold those. And then now it's too expensive to buy in. There's no point.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so a lot of these ideas that I have written down in here are from when I was brainstorming to film a podcast with Ricky, which we still haven't done. I still need to get him on here.
Has he never been on here?
No, he's never been on a podcast over there.
I am so honored to be here.
So, one of our things right here: income, investments, and compounding money.
Alright.
Let's get into that. How do you see your investments going? Like in the future, where do you see it going?
I see it going like pretty far. That it could be like a side job.
Side hustle?
Yeah, side hustle.
A way to compound your money?
Yeah. So I can basically just like have a full-time job, and then I could use some of that money to put back into it, and then I could just keep increasing. Yeah.
Yeah, compounding.
Yeah.
So, I have a few stocks, but they're not like big stocks. I'm not actively in it. I'm not like day trading and like fully invested. It's just stocks my grandpa bought for me when I was born. That's really it. But the way I've compounded my money is through like looking at random things on Facebook Marketplace that you can buy and then flip really easily. Example, the camera lenses that I bought. I think I talked about this in one of the other podcasts, but I had a lot of camera lenses that I bought for $75, turned it around, sold it for like $800. Kind of felt bad that I did it because I bought them from a guy with ALS. I'm going to hell now.
You should flip cars.
I want to get into that. I want to get into flipping cars. I want to figure out a way to expand out of camera gear and random things. And the way I got my whole camera gear is really just one compound. Because I had my GoPro, and then I bought all the things with the GoPro. I sold a few things off of the GoPro, bought the M50, turned my M50 into a drone, then used the other money from the investments from the lenses to buy this camera. I just broke the drone. I would show you it, but it's in that box right there now. I forgot to ship it out this morning.
It's far one.
You saw the photo, right?
Yeah, I did. Wait, what'd you do exactly? You want to explain to them right now?
Yeah, I'll explain to both of you. So, I'm flying, and I'm trying to get a shot of me coming this way and the drone going the other way. So it's like, I was skating, but flying while skating isn't easy. So I'm waiting to go, and I'm at the light, like the light down the road.
Yeah.
The stoplight, and I'm flying it over the light, so then I can turn it around and have it come back. The controller disconnects. And it ran directly into the stoplight. It hits the stoplight, and on the right side, like where they're building that school, it goes from the stoplight, it flies itself down to the sidewalk and lands.
But it broke, like, when it hit the stoplight?
Yeah. So the camera was just dangling while still flying, and then it landed.
Okay, at least it didn't, like, hit the stoplight and then fall just right into, like, traffic and just get run over.
Well, no one was driving.
What time was it?
It was like 1.
Why were you flying at 1 skateboarding as well?
Because that's when the sunset is.
Oh, you're right.
It looks the best at sunset. Yeah, and I was on FaceTime with Kate, and I'm like flying, and then I see it hit the stoplight. I was like, oh my god, Kate, I just broke the drone. And she was like, no, you didn't. And I pick it up from the ground, and I look at it, I was like, oh. Fuck. And then I showed her. She's like, how? And then I told her how I did it. And then you'll see it. It's at the end of the video. I just upload it. I hang up on Kate. And I'm like, yo, okay, I'm going to FaceTime Ricky. I FaceTime Ricky. And I was like, hey, the drone controller disconnected. I pick up the drone and the camera's dangling. And Ricky's like, what did you hit?
So you're going to get it, replaced?
Yes, I'm getting it repaired.
You've had it for, a month now?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I said, I'll put the clip in right now. So I crashed it twice, but that's part of learning. I'm still learning how to do it. I said while I was at Dresden's house, the first 2 times I crashed it, I was like, I know I'm gonna crash it. I know it's gonna break, but that's part of learning.
Yeah. Smart one. This guy's the smartest guy. I know.
I'm the only one that's crashed it though.
I've never flown it.
You're gonna fly it.
If it's fixed.
I have a lot right here. Why are friend groups so close? Acting on people. The story. You remember that story? The story. You don't know that story.
Who's Danny?
A random guy. I'll tell half of it on here, then half of it in Ricky's episode. Not being invincible is skating, and then the drone, and then it's called Sonder. I'll explain that. So I'll get into just Sonder right now, and then we'll go into not being invincible. Then
is that a person?
I'll tell the few stories. No, Sonder's a thing. So Sonder is the belief, like say someone walks past you on the side of the road. Sonder is realizing that the person that just walked past you has just as complex life as you do. So you have just as complex of a life as I do. And my parents both have as complex of lives as I do. Everyone has just as complex of a life. So I always have the thought what if this is the afterlife? What if everyone on this universe is dead, and this is our version of the afterlife? But there's no way to prove if that's true or not. If we're in the afterlife, or this is normal living, or if we're even living.
It's a simulation.
Yeah, we could be a simulation. I've had that thought for a while. I was having a conversation about that in my yearbook class. My yearbook class was lit, by the way. I'm going to keep talking about that on this podcast a lot. But I was having a conversation about that one day in, the simulation. You're searching the Elon Musk simulation?
What do you say?
He was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, but, what's the percentage? He said something like a percentage.
It was a 50% percentage or something. I think I talked about that in one of the audio-only podcasts. By the way, that's in the link in the description if you want to listen to this just in the audio. And that's in the description if you don't want to watch me and Justin's stupid faces look at each other, then you can just listen to it. That was the most off-the-dome plug I've done.
50-50 odds.
Yeah, 50-50 odds that we're in a simulation and not. I have a theory that Area 51 is the head of our simulation.
Really?
That's how they control it. That's why they don't let anyone in.
I really want to go in there.
Why would they guard it if there wasn't something really important in there?
Maybe it's just an empty warehouse.
I'm gonna tell them the dream. I'm gonna tell them the dream I had at the warehouse. No. Oh my god.
Alright.
Let me read exactly what I wrote down in my notes for this dream. Oh my god.
Wait, is my face gonna be inverted in this?
No.
God, alright, good.
I went to Kentucky to skateboard, and Ricky had a warehouse full of cars. Dresden got thrown off a warehouse. I almost got robbed. So I have this dream. All the boys fly to Kentucky, and we all go skate. And Ricky had a warehouse just full of Japanese cars. And we were driving around, we were drifting around the warehouse, and then Bobby gets on the warehouse, and Dresden was like, okay, Dresden, this is the part where you die. Picks him up by his legs and just chucks him off. And then my board snaps while I'm skating, so I go to the skate shop to buy a new board, and I almost get robbed of the half-built skateboard that I have. So Bobby threw you off of a warehouse in my dream.
Maybe that's the future. Maybe dreams are what's to come.
That's another theory I have. Is I need to tell you about the sleep paralysis I had last night. It was weird. So I feel your dreams are what your brain is subconsciously thinking while you're sleeping. And it creates its own image. Is your mom calling you?
Hello? I'm at my friend's house. Probably. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Are you coming back? All right.
I can do it.
I'll have a ride. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Love you. Bye.
What was I just talking about?
Sorry for the
You're good.
interruption.
So, like, my theory is that dreams are what your brain is thinking about, and it's like your imagination while you're sleeping. Like, it's your unconscious thoughts. So, I guess that would be subconscious.
Wait, what? So it's like...
It's like what your brain is imagining and thinking while you're sleeping. While you're unconscious.
Well, isn't that what a dream is?
Exactly. Exactly what I just said.
So you just did the description of a dream.
That's what I think it is, but a lot of people have different, like, imagination.
Maybe,
like, different
maybe
thoughts
a
on dreams.
dream is like a video of like an alternate dimension.
I've also thought of that. Like, it's a... You know how in Rick and Morty they have the teleport?
Yeah.
The teleporter gun to go to a different dimension?
I actually thought of Rick and Morty as they said that.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of Rick and Morty, too, because Dresden's been in Arizona, and all the other boys have been busy with football, so I've been editing and watching Rick and Morty. But, like, dreams are your teleport gun to go into a different dimension.
Yeah.
Because Rick says there's thousands of dimensions and 1,000 versions of Summer, Rick, Morty, Beth, and... What's his name? The dad? It's like Jeff or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Jerry. Yeah. So, back to Sonder. It's... I thought about that, but I didn't know there was a word for it. And I was watching Steezy Kane's podcast, the Pullout podcast. Oh, I've also been watching Steezy Kane. His videos are so funny. But, well, I found the Pullout podcast before I found Steezy Kane. But I was watching his most recent podcast, and they were talking about Sonder and, like, other... They were talking about, like, horror movies and, like, devils and stuff. About, like, Ouija boards. And I don't know. The podcast was everywhere. So, back to, like, my thought on Sonder. I always, like, imagined it, and I always thought about that, like, this person has... They're a living human being, but are they real? Like, I don't trust the world. Like, that's how bad my trust issues get. Like, I don't know if you're real. I only know I'm real. And all these things you're looking at are a light reflection that doesn't exist until you touch it. Like, you don't know it exists until you touch it.
I heard, like, the thing where, like, rocks are actually soft until you touch it.
Yeah.
It's like Oobleck or whatever.
Yeah. It's just a whole bunch of slowly moving atoms, and then when you touch it, it settles.
Yeah. Sounds like legit. I guess.
I mean, science backs it up.
Well, when I was a kid, I thought I was, like, the main character, right? So
they talked about that in that podcast. They talked about being the main character. Like, different songs make you feel like the main character. I have a playlist called, the playlist that makes you feel like you're in a movie. I caught it. Where is it? The one that makes you feel like you're in a movie. If it'll load. SpongeBob's the photo. It's just a whole bunch of songs. If I had a movie of my life, that's the songs that I'd be playing.
Yeah.
I want to get a mansion, a jacuzzi, a theater to watch my movies, a couple whips and lots of fancy things.
Hey, did you know? In 6 months, 2020 will be 2 years from now. Will be 2 years.
It'll be 2022.
Yeah.
And Ricky will finally have straight teeth. Alexa goes away in 6 months.
Samsung takes over.
So we call Enrique's Invisalign Alexa, because it looks like the case thing looks like Alexa.
I remember yelling at it.
Yeah, you're like, Alexa. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of things make you feel like you're a main character. Like they talked about that in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, like how he acts like he's in a sitcom. Like he just like looks over. You remember that part in the book?
It's the greatest.
Yes.
The greatest books ever. I think it's like the only books I've actually ever read.
Exactly. Because I think... What's the author's name?
I don't know right now.
Tom Kenny? I think that's what it is. That's SpongeBob or...
Wait, Larry and the Kid and SpongeBob are like the same authors?
No.
What?
Tom Kenny is either SpongeBob or Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Search up Tom Kenny.
Author. Tom Kenny. Oh, that's SpongeBob. Oh, yeah. Tom Kenny is also the voice of
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Morty from Rick and Morty, and he's also SpongeBob's voice.
Do your best impression of Rick. I mean, not Rick. Morty.
Rick! Oh, jeez, Rick, why are you teleporting me to an alternate dimension? Summer, why the fuck are your boobs so small?
That's pretty accurate.
Doesn't that sound like Morty?
That does, actually.
If they need a new voice for Morty, I could be it. Bro, that'd be great.
I've seen a lot, of impressionists, or whatever they're called.
I think it's just because I feel like I fit... Like, if my grandpa was a crazy scientist and took me on adventures, my life would be Rick and Morty. Because I fit, the exact description of Morty. I'm an awkward 14-year-old teenage kid.
Is he actually 14?
Yeah, he's 14 in the...
Oh, yeah.
I just don't have a principal named Principal Vagina.
I like the Pringles ad.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Was that the Super Bowl halftime show or something?
I think it was.
Or something, yeah, ad.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, actually.
Okay, let's get into these stories. That's my favorite thing, is telling stories. That's the time I feel the most alive, is when I'm
Remember that time?
What time?
I don't know, just remember that time.
What's the time you feel the most alive? I'm alive, and these people around me are alive. Is it when you're alone or when you're with people?
I don't know. Probably when, everybody around me is having a great time, you know?
Everyone's doing the same thing?
Yeah.
That's what I would say. And, especially, storytelling. Telling stories all together.
Yeah.
That's why I started this podcast. Fun fact. I wanted to start this 3 years ago. I'll put the clip in literally right now.
I haven't really talked about either of these. Actually, I haven't talked about one. I've talked a little bit about the other. I've had the idea for around a month and a half to make a podcast, and I'm going to start it on my other channel. I made another channel just for this, and then I'm going to transfer to the Anchor app on your phone. The Anchor app is so cool. So, you download it, and this is where you can film all your podcasts and stuff, just from your phone. And you can, hit tools, you can record, you can add voice messages, there's sounds you can have and stuff. It's just super sick. And after I get used to doing the whole thing and have everything that I need to do it, I'm going to transfer the Anchor app on my phone. I think you can get it on a computer, I don't know.
This is proof that dreams come true, because in 3 years I would have never thought that Anchor would be paying me. It's just so crazy to think that this whole podcast is managed and technically owned by Anchor. This is not another sponsored episode by Anchor. It would be pretty cool if it was. Anchor, I need another sponsorship. I'm kidding. In one of my old videos, 3 years ago, I was talking about how I'm going to start a podcast, but I never fully started it until now.
Making dreams come true.
For real. Let's start with the... What should we make her name?
Vision Cybers.
No, we're going to make it Wanda. I don't...
Wander.
I just thought... Yeah, Wander. We call Dresden's stepmom Wander, but this isn't who it's about. So, our homie Maddie, she's been in a few videos. Actually, not a few. She's been in a lot of videos. She went to a soccer camp 2 years ago in Seattle. And, one night she FaceTimed me. And her roommate, Wander, that's the code name, I don't know if she watches these videos. I know she did at one point. But, Maddie FaceTimes me and wanders in the room. And, she took Maddie's phone and was talking to me and was like, so, your name's Matthew and you're like friends with Maddie. And I was like, yeah, what about it? And she was like, I don't know, you just kind of come off as a dick. And I was like,
oh, damn.
And I was like, okay.
You're just gonna take that?
And I was like, okay, that's fair. And then, well, I didn't see anything but her forehead. So I was like, damn, okay. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I was like, by the way, your forehead's really big. And she's like, damn, you really are. Like, she had her hair back in a ponytail because she was playing soccer.
Damn.
And she was blonde.
You said that to her?
Oh, yeah. By the way, this is 2 years ago, so my voice sounded like this. I was like, damn, your forehead looks really big. I sounded like Morty.
That was really great, actually.
I sounded similar to how I did in this video.
Just explaining this story, you look really awkward.
I know, because it's a really awkward story. So, then she was like, fuck, I can't talk. Then she fully explains, like, why she called me a dick, and she was like, well, I mean, I kind of thought you were cute. And I was like, what? I was confused, because, I mean, at the time, it looks like an egg. Like, remember what I looked like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I looked like an egg. So, I was confused. I was, like, beyond confused why she thought that. And one thing leads to another, then it's 3 in the morning, and Wander's FaceTiming me. And she has my number.
Damn.
So, then I'm, like, laying there. And I'm thinking, like, how did I end up here? I'm on FaceTime with a girl in Seattle. And the next thing I know, she falls asleep. And I was like, are you asleep? And she's like, oh, sorry, you woke me up. And I was like, yeah. I'm going to go to bed. And she's like, okay, love you. Like first thing she says, okay,
True love story.
You. And I hang up. And I laid right here, staring at the ceiling for, like, 2 hours. And I was like, what just happened? Yeah, that went on for a whole, 3 weeks. And then Maddie comes back, and I didn't see her till the next school year. She asked me if I've talked if I have talked to Wander. So at this point, I just essentially blocked her. Like, she travels the world. I don't know if she has a home. I think she just travels the world and lives in Airbnbs. I mean, I respect it. That's a cool lifestyle. But, like, where did she go? She went to, like, France or something. And she's like, I'm not going to have service. I won't be able to talk to you. I was like, okay, cool. Took that opportunity, blocked her.
I want to go to France.
Somewhere foreign seems sick.
I want to, like, have a lightsaber war, but with a baguette. Like,
I'm
really
so
bad.
down. I am so down for that.
I don't know if you've ever watched Spaceballs.
Yes, I have.
We can recreate that one scene.
Yeah,
but
when they're in the
baguettes.
ship and, like, his helmet falls off while they're doing the baguette thing. The baguette fight.
Your Schwartz.
Yeah. And then we have to...
I want to do that really bad. That's on my bucket list now.
We have to go to Planet Meatball.
Yes, we do have to go to Planet Meatball.
Next story. Oh, by the way, the story ends when I was in the other podcast when I thought of this. It'll be up in this corner. So, I was scrolling through my Apple Music to show the music I listen to, and I accidentally followed Wander on Apple Music, and then she texted me. I didn't even read the text. I deleted her contact and fully blocked her.
Damn. That's like our generation's version of Romeo and Juliet.
Definitely.
Just like online blocking. I don't think I've ever done that. Like just block someone like that.
Well, I mean, it's not to be mean. It's because honestly, I'm always set on one person. I don't know if that's good or bad.
He goes hard.
I go
if that
hard.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I mean,
you put a lot of dedication.
I do put a lot of dedication. A lot of it turns out badly. So we'll get into the next story. This story takes place when I'm 10 and literally just starting YouTube. So I am extremely naive. I think 200 followers is like having 50 million. I thought I was on top of the world. I don't know why, but I thought I was, and now I realize I'm not anything. But I followed a lot of skateboarders, even though I didn't even really skateboard at this time. I was just like focused on YouTube and flips and kind of being as close to gay as possible while still being straight. But
Hey, hold on.
but this happens because I saw numbers. I was so driven by numbers at this point. This guy has 10K followers and is followed by I can't find his account anymore. I don't have him blocked. But this person was followed by Andrew Schrock. He runs Revive Skateboards. If you know, you know. He has like 10.4K and he like randomly DMs me one day. And I'm 10. He's like 20 something and he's DMing a 10-year-old. But I had no concept of like illegal things because I was very innocent.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what was right and wrong. And then like in school they teach you like don't talk to people over 18 on the internet.
Well, it's not illegal. It's not like they're trying to like get
Just
with you.
wait. Just wait.
Alright, let's wait.
So we like start DMing back and forth, and I had my Snapchat public at that point, so anyone could add me and see me on like see my story and stuff. So he adds me, and he's like, at this point it was just like bullshit things on my story. I didn't even have anyone added really, because no one really had Snapchat. I'm 10, so so like he adds me. So he adds me and he like starts clicking through my story. He's replying and we like snap back and forth. He's the only person on my best friends list at this point because I had like no one else added. He starts explaining to me like what he does over Snapchat, and he's explaining to me about like how he deals through Snapchat, and his payment is through provocative photos. Like that's his payment. So he's like a digital drug lord that gets his payment through nudes. And I'm 10. So I'm like taking this all and I was like, what is happening? I remember sitting on this floor right here with my old iPhone 6 and like reading all of this and just like feeling so confused. I remember replying to this giant paragraph of him explaining to what he was doing. I replied, dude, I'm 10. And then he replies like, yeah, don't be surprised if I send you one someday. And he's talking about special photo.
Damn.
And I was like, what? I replied, what? And then I just blocked him on everything. I learned half the things I know about editing from this guy. Because I would like...
He's a skateboarder?
Yeah, he'd skate and he was... Well, he was followed by Andrew Schrock, who was like one of my biggest inspirations as a little kid. Andrew Schrock runs Revive Skateboards, previously Revenge Skateboards. I found all those YouTube videos when it was still Revenge, and I always wanted a Revenge deck. And I talked about this in another podcast, like talking about how I got started on YouTube. I talked about Joss Katz. Joss Katz is on Revive, like on Revive Skateboards. So that guy was followed by Andrew Schrock, who runs Revive Skateboards.
Right.
So I got all sucked into it because I was very young and naive, and he was followed by someone that I knew. Well, knew.
It's kind of like the Sonder thing. It's like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on in their life. And then the next thing I have is learning how to have no filter and how to be blunt and not being invincible. I learned to not have a filter in like 4th grade. I was thinking like, why don't I just speak my thoughts? Why don't I just speak my mind? Why do I have to hold it all in? Why can't I just project it? And then that leads me into like thinking, that's like a way of being in the moment. And I don't know how I thought of this at like 9. I don't know how I did that, but I did. And I was talking about this with my mom. I also talked about it in the other podcast. I was talking about, like, where my anxiety stemmed from. And it goes all the way back to, like, being 4 and, like, starting school. And I've always hated school. Me and Dresden both have hated school. Me and Dresden became friends at school. Like, one of the first days of school, we were talking to each other about how we hated school.
Yeah. In the computer lab.
Uh-huh, yeah.
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 There wasn't a computer lab anymore.
Yeah, the computer lab's gone. After the computer lab and explaining to each other how much we hated school, we have geography together. And this is with Tate, Jimena, and Ricky, but Ricky wasn't there because she was in the Philippines. Or in Tennessee.
Oh yeah, I remember when you like came back and everybody was like so excited and I was so confused. I was like, who is this kid?
Who is this Filipino kid?
Yeah.
So I had no sense of like what was polite and what wasn't. Like I grew up like essentially just having like a few rules, like clean up after yourself and like be respectful, but I was never taught what respectful was. So
Yeah.
I kind of made up my own image of it from all my other friends' parents.
Yeah.
And I would always kind of go off the walls because I would see what like my sister's friends would do. And a lot of things they would do are not great. I've told you some of those stories.
Yeah.
But I get the bright idea one day. Oh, I have this ginger friend, and I'm really bored, and this class is really quiet.
No.
So I get up, and I act like I just have to go to the front of the class. I lift my leg up. I didn't think this part was going to be this loud. It echoed through the room.
It was the loudest.
I farted on Dresden. So loud. This is the only time I ever had a detention slip written. She didn't give it to me. She never gave it to me. Like, it was
You lucky.
It just sat on her desk. But, like, it was loud. And I think it was going to be that loud. It was... I'm not going to go into detail because I don't think you guys need to hear that. But, it was... It was so funny. And I remember Tate and Jimena just laughing for the rest of the time. And then I go out. She's like, Matthew, please leave the classroom. So I leave the classroom. And the teacher starts bust out laughing in the classroom. And then I go to like this middle table thing where Maddie was. And she was like, oh my god, what did you do? And I was like, I farted on Dresden and got sent out of class.
Yeah, okay, at least I got him back a couple times.
Yeah, he's got me back a few times.
Yeah, in the locker room.
But this is kind of how I learned. This is where I fully took the chance of, like, I'm going to be extremely blunt and always speak my mind. Giving me the image of kind of being a dick sometimes, because honestly I can be. And I can see where people are coming from when they say that. I was talking with someone, and they were explaining to me about how when they first met me, they kind of thought I was a douche. And I realized how easy it is for me to come off as a douche.
Same.
I feel like anyone can.
Yeah. It really just is how your mood is that day.
Yeah. And I remember it was I'll show you on Snapchat because I don't want to do any more editing. They explained to me that, and then I just got into a deeper conversation of explaining like how I don't try to come off as that. And I thought of this idea then. I realized I had no filter like this year. I remember when we were playing badminton.
Yeah.
And I just kept yelling.
Yeah.
And you remember that?
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then I thought of it. I was like, oh, I should probably stop saying all that.
Yeah. We both. I remember.
Yeah. And then me and Jason started a challenge every single time we cussed. We had to do 10 push-ups. Which I think we need to start again because
it's gotten worse again.
It's gone bad. But just like then this leads into not being invincible. This like is a perfect example of what happened that day in the four-wheeled object with the doors on it when I dislocated my shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Like we all kind of expected it, but we didn't actually think it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then it happened. But I've had multiple instances where I think like, oh, I'm not gonna get hurt. Oh, guess what? I get hurt.
Yeah.
That was one of those days. And another time, the hardest time I've ever necked on a trampoline. I was like 9, and I tried to throw a double front, like 2 bounces double front. Oh my god. My spine should have snapped. Like, I landed on my, like, this is my head. My back, like, folded over. It was bad. I wish there was a GoPro clip of it. But another time I thought I was invincible was when I had the worst injury that I'm still dealing with now, and that's my wrist and my arm. Like, I told that story in the worst injuries. Like, I was getting double bounced and I broke my wrist, and then it shifted the 2 bones in my elbow, creating more bone in my elbow, and too many issues. Just, you're not invincible, and I want to get that point across.
Yeah.
It's really easy to get hurt, especially in, like, skateboarding and BMX and stuff. Like, I have so much respect for BMX riders. I don't mean to cut you off. What are you saying?
And snowboarders.
Yeah, snowboarders. Or the, like, Olympic skiers when they're going, like, 80 down a mountain.
Yeah.
Bro. That's crazy.
And just, like, mountain biking. Like, those, like
sketchy
ones.
The extreme mountain bike.
Yeah.
It looks fun, but
it's sketchy.
It's really sketch.
Like, I remember the first time I went, like, it was on Alyeska, and I was so scared because I didn't know where every, like, hill and, like, turn went.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to go over a hill and then it was going to be a cliff, or if it was going to be, like...
because that mountain is really sketchy. All the mountains here are sketchy. I found I didn't find. I got word of a trail that leads to a giant waterfall in Girdwood that we need to go to.
That sounds sick.
So, I'll make a vlog about that.
Yeah.
What do you want to close out on? We need to close on a positive note. What's a very positive thing that has happened in your life recently?
I went painting and I'm covered in blue paint. It's like a Smurf went on me.
Smurf Jesus on you?
Yeah.
Bro, would that be blue? Wait, hold up.
Well, because it's like, there's white and black people and they both have white sperm. Unless you have a medical condition, then, like, I don't know. Would a blue person have white too? Well, a Smurf isn't a person, it's like a mythic thing. Do you think... It's like Santa Claus. Like, would...
Bro, all the little kids that were watching this, they all
just
got...
pop a Smurf, just pop out babies.
They just teleport?
Yeah. Do they even get pregnant?
Do you believe in evolution? Do you think we can evolve into a Smurf?
I mean, he looks like a monkey, so yeah.
It's because of
And
Indian.
Tate Cooper.
Tate does look like a...
She is a monkey.
Like, her ears are...
She sounds like a monkey. She acts like a monkey.
Wait, do the laugh?
I'm not doing that.
No, do it.
I think I forgot how to do it.
I'll put a clip in of Tristan.
You have a clip of it?
Somewhere.
Alright, that makes it not any better.
Somewhere.
Oh my god. If you could find it. Okay, I'm not even gonna do it. I can't show my face while I do it.
I can't do it.
I can't.
Alright, I hope you guys laughed at this podcast. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Hopefully with Enrique. It'll definitely be with a guest because it's getting lonely doing it on my own. I'll catch you guys later.
Sorry.
Have a good rest of your day.
Good night.
Good night.
I love you.
I love you too.